It's 3:25 in the morning in Dhaka. It's raining, obviously. Behind us, workers are still working, garment workers. They're going into their 20th hour of work. We've seen this in a drive around Dhaka. We've seen this in maybe a dozen factories tonight. These workers will work until 5 or 6, maybe they'll get an hour of sleep, and then they'll start another shift, which will be 14, 15, or 18, or 19, or 20 hours. It's hard to imagine that in the United States, it's August. People are on vacation. It's August in Bangladesh, and these workers are working 20 hours a day, making our clothing.
In some factories, they have to work 15 to 20 nights a month, often until 3 a.m. or later. The women are separated from their families, especially the ones that have children, and this creates a lot of problem.
American corporations are seeking out the cheapest labor. And right now we have 2.8 billion people around the world who are making products for Americans to buy, living off of less than $2 a day. The people making the goods that Americans buy are mainly young women in countries like Bangladesh, Central America, and places like China, where they're making pennies an hour, working 12, 14-hour days, sometimes 20 hours a day, and often they're beaten to keep them working so that we can pay less for what we buy.
We saw a lot of clothing for Walmart. The general working day is from 7:30 in the morning till 9:30 or 10:30 at night. Sometimes we have to work all day and night.
They told us how they're often locked into the factories. They're forced to do unpaid overtime, receive no sick pay and no holiday pay. They live in terrible conditions, often without any running water or sanitation.
At 3 a.m. we can sleep on the ground in the factory, but we have to start working again at 7:30 a.m. There is no opportunity to go home. The whole month working night and day. If there is any stop in the work, they start yelling. If we do anything, they start beating us. Almost torture. They go too far.
In this factory that was producing for Walmart, we know the conditions were brutal. The workers were forced to work from 8 in the morning until 10 o'clock at night or 11 o'clock, 14, 15 hours a day. They work.
It's amazing that Walmart was the company at one time that was urging people to buy American, and now they're the largest importer of Chinese goods, and the Chinese are one of the worst slave labor countries in the world. We're buying the goods and at the same time ignoring what's happening in these countries around the world under these sweatshop conditions. Americans generally have been silent on this issue.
Disney, Walmart, and the other U.S. companies try to tell the American people that we shouldn't get confused, that 11 to 17 cents an hour might not seem like a lot of money in the U.S., but don't forget, we are talking about Bangladesh, one of the poorest countries in the world. In Bangladesh, they say, you can live fine on 11 to 17 cents an hour. But a visit to the homes of the workers shows what a cruel lie this really is. The workers are trapped in abject misery, living in tiny, one-room, 10 by 12-foot huts. Their houses are put together with thatch, scraps of metal, wood, plastic, and cardboard. 15 households, totaling 80 to 90 people, share one outdoor water pump, one primitive outhouse, one gas stove with 3 or 4 burners. There is never any privacy.